Hi, today we're talking enthusiast PC. It is high-end. This particular machine will be built for a company that do audio and sound editing. We'll start off with the motherboard. Socket 2011, the X79 chipset. This chipset's been around for a while, but this is a refreshed motherboard, the latest motherboard out by Asus. Sort of brings it parallel with the new chipsets that have just come out for the Haswell processors. So you get your USB 3, you get 8 SATA 3 ports, 4 SATA 2 ports, 12 altogether, and it just brings it in line with the new motherboards that are out. Okay, you do get Wi-Fi, built-in Wi-Fi, and 2 LAN. It's quad channel memory. What else to tell you about it? So basically, old chipset, new motherboard. Okay, this motherboard, you're looking around the 350 mark. Okay, so that's your motherboard. Okay, so the CPU. This is obviously socket 2011, i7 4930K. This is the new CPU that's come out. It's the Ivy Bridge E architecture, and that's 6 cores, so 12 threads, and that CPU is gonna cost you somewhere in the region of about 550. Okay, so that's the CPU. Our RAM. Okay, so we're using Corsair Vengeance. We're going to be building it with 32 GB RAM, running at 1866 megahertz, and it's got timings of, the latency is 924. Okay, so that's C9. This is the Intel XMP certified quad channel memory, and that RAM is gonna cost you somewhere in the region of 370 or so. Okay, so you got 4 sticks of 8 GB in there. Okay, so that's your RAM. Keeping it all cool and running nicely, we've got the Corsair H100i. It's the liquid cooling Hydra series. Okay, so this is going to keep everything all nice and cool. If the user wants to overclock it, no problem. Okay, all this stuff is going into it's Cooler Master Cosmos, the first edition that came out. We're gonna put it all together inside there, and the power supply is a Chieftech 1000 watt. Okay, so let me get all the stuff into the case, and then we'll have a look at how it's going. Okay, so we're sort of halfway through the build. This, like I said, we're working with the Cooler Master Cosmos, the first edition. It does have a few disadvantages. The first being that it didn't come with any USB 3 front panel header, so I've had to get a third-party front panel to connect to the motherboard, 21 pin there. Here's the PSU I was telling you about. It's a Chieftech 1000 watt. It's from the previous build of this machine, which was a first generation i7 930 or something like that. Okay, so we've installed the liquid cooling the Corsair. The radiator sits on the top with the two fans. Very quiet. It idles at about 20 degrees. Okay. Inside here we have a solid state drive. Okay, so the operating system will be running off a 256 gigabyte. Okay, so the other disadvantage that I'm having right now with this particular case is some of the cables that I would like to run from the power supply over the back panel to the motherboard. There's no space at the back. So let me just turn this around for you. So for example, I would like a cable to come out the bottom through the top. Problem is the case closes along this bar. These are the latches. So we can't go anywhere past that. So basically, the only cables that we're going to run from the back, okay, we have 6 mechanical drives here. Those drives will be able to, obviously the cables will go through here. But no hidden cables behind this panel, which is a shame. Okay. And that's the USB 3 header, third party that I was telling you about, that I had to put in because the case only comes with USB 2 front panel header. Okay. Okay, what else to talk about? Graphics cards, nothing special, because this is going to be running audio software. Graphics are not too important. We're going to put in a second card because this rig is going to be running 4 screens. So just basically this is NVIDIA N500, and I've got another NVIDIA, I think it's a 210 GT. So nothing special on the graphics. Okay, so we're sort of halfway through the build. We have to connect up all those hard disks, sort out all this wiring, make it look as neat as possible. Okay, so we've got the machine together. It all went together quite well. The only thing, a few of these cables, like the USB cable that plugs the liquid cooler to the board, I would have liked to have run that behind this panel here, but there's no space, just can't do it. So I've had to run these 2 cables here in front of the motherboard. Other than that, it's quite neat. We've got 2, 4, 6, 8. We've got 9 SATA devices. Okay, 7 drives and 1 Blu-ray drive. Okay, so I installed the Corsair Link software. It's monitoring software to basically check in the fans on the radiator, temperatures. It checks even the temperatures of the VGA cards and of the hard disk drives. Basically, the CPU is idling 22 to 26 degrees, and the fans on the radiator are sitting somewhere at about 850 RPM. Okay, benchmarks. I got somewhere in the region of 470 megabytes per second on the buffered read on the solid state drive. And the other benchmarks that I ran, we're looking at about, without overclocking the machine, a 30% increase on an i7 Sandy Bridge. So it's quite significant increase in performance. Okay. The problem is with this machine, everybody's going to be asking the question whether it's worth it to spend that extra money on the motherboard and the processor, or maybe just get a Haswell processor and motherboard. Tell you the truth, right now it's a little bit early days. I couldn't give you a definite answer on that because this machine does cost considerably quite a lot more than the Haswell. So I'll need to think about that. I'll post my final decision in the description. Okay, so that's our enthusiast build. Thanks for watching. Remember, there's always a fix.